this is Jessica with Dining Traveler, and welcome to the Dining Traveler cooking series where we make dishes from our favorite destinations at home. And it's Coquito season, mi gente. It is time to make that decadent drink that we all love. And you guys enjoyed our video that we made a few years ago with my family recipe. But one of the things that I found funny was that in the comments, somebody said that my Coquito was not authentic because I did not make leche de coco, coconut milk, from scratch. So this time I'm gonna do a little experiment to see if making it with coconut milk from scratch is really that much better. So let's get started. The first step is to make the coconut milk from scratch. I recommend going to either an Asian, African, Latin supermarket in the States, and you can find these. In Brussels, I go to this amazing market called the Abattoir, and there's a lot of African food stands there, so that's where I get mine. I went on the internet, saw a bunch of videos on what's the best way to shell a coconut, and one of the methods that for me was the easiest was freezing the coconut the night before. And what that's going to cause is for it to kind of open on itself, so you already have a head start on that. Now let's get to it. Let's put all your anger in this coconut. Use a hammer, something hard. Toma. Put all your anger out there. Oh, I hear it, yay. I hear it again. Now we crack the coconut, and in this case it was still frozen. You can wait a little bit for it to defrost and just have the water come out. The flesh is there, so now the trick is to use a spoon, a sturdy spoon, and start scooping out the coconut. I would say from start to finish it's going to take around 5 minutes, so that takes a little bit longer than opening up a can of coconut milk, but it's not that bad. I remember way back in the day, my dad used to buy coconuts in Puerto Rico to make dulce de coco. And I remember him seeing that and being like, oh my God, that's so much work. So, but here I am making coquito from scratch. Boom, we have them all out. So now we're gonna use a vegetable peeler to get rid of that hard brown shell. And obviously it's much better to get big pieces out because this one is kind of small, so it becomes a bit of a hassle. And I feel like coquitos become more mainstream these days, so maybe you go to the store and there's no canned coconut milk, so you have this option. But I will say this is also like my pistachio coquito, my VIP coquito. Not everybody's gonna get this coquito with coconut milk hecho a mano. So we've shelled the coconut. I rinsed it just to get rid of those little pieces from the shell, and now we're just gonna coarsely chop it because we're gonna throw it in the blender, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Now we are gonna make the coconut milk in the blender, so we just want to put the chunks of coconut, 2 cups of water, and a little dash of salt. You want to run the blender for a few minutes just to make sure that every little particle is really taken care of so you can get the most out of your coconut milk. Obviously I have a high-speed blender, so it's going to be a little bit faster for me. If you have a small blender at home, that's no biggie. Just start in small batches. Now the coconut is blended in the water, so now we're going to use a cheesecloth to strain the little particles of the coconut. You want to gently pull the coconut milk little by little, gently, because you don't want it splattering all over the place. There we have it. Leche de coco, coconut milk. So we finished the coconut milk and it's gonna yield around 2.5 cups. And now we're gonna also make the crema de coco by hand, Doña Pilar, para que te jaltes. So we are gonna get a cup of the leche de coco. We're gonna put it in a saucepan, and then we're gonna put 3/4 of a cup of sugar. As you make the cream of coconut, you want to put it in medium-high heat, but one of the things, just as you're making flan caramelo, or even this is your first time dealing with sugar in liquid, you have to be really careful because this will turn on you very quickly if you're not paying attention. So make sure that you're constantly stirring, and this is going to probably take, I would say, like around 5 to 7 minutes until it thickens. This is where you want to get it. And also you guys can make this in advance if you want to do the leche de coco and the crema de coco the night before. That's fine as well. Just remember, again, when you're dealing with really fresh ingredients, like making coconut milk from scratch is not going to last as long in the fridge as when you're using canned coconut. So the cream of coconut is done, is a little bit thickened, the sugar is dissolved, so we're gonna just set that aside and let it cool down. Now we're gonna spice up the milk. And one of the things that I noticed is that Coconut milk is going to be a little bit thinner when you make it from scratch. A lot of people like to make a spiced tea. I think that then using water on top of the milk, on top of the coconut milk, might make the coquito a bit runny. That's just me. You do it however you want to do it. This is my spice mix. If you guys have seen my other video, you guys know I'm obsessed with ginger. Love ginger. I put it in everything. And that was how my mom did it. So there you go, mommy. And now we have cinnamon, anise seed pod. That was a tip from my friend Karen, so shout out to her. And some cloves. I am obsessed with cloves. And then I'm just gonna put the rest of the coconut milk. And now I'm gonna put it in a slow simmer, kind of like when you're making tea at home, around 5 minutes. You don't wanna cook it in really high heat because then it's just gonna blow up and it's just not a good thing. It's gonna be a mess. And you just wanna make sure that it absorbs all those flavors from the spice. And a hidden bonus is that it makes also your kitchen smell fantastic. So you're gonna leave that there for a few minutes, and then afterwards you wanna make sure that it's completely cooled down so we can make the coquito. So the coconut milk with the spices is cooled down, so we're gonna use a strainer to get the spices out of the coconut milk. You wanna save these guys because we're gonna tell you what to do with those later. And I also like to, again guys, I love my ginger, so I'm gonna just add one little piece of ginger to the mix so I can put it in the blender. Now we have the ingredients ready for the coquito. So we have evaporated milk, condensed milk, the coconut milk, the cream of coconut, and of course the rum. If you don't drink alcohol or you're planning to serve it to kids, you can also do it without the alcohol. I find it nice and creamy. It's a great winter treat. So now we're gonna place it in the blender, blend it for a few minutes, make sure that the flavors come together pretty well. One of my recommendations is to refrigerating it overnight so really get those like spices to come together. And we shall blend for a few minutes. So now our coquito is ready. It smells so good. So what I like to do is to pour it into a measuring cup first so I can have a nice spout. I like to reuse my rum bottles, my old bottles, you know. We Puerto Ricans invented recycling. This one is a bottle that I love. It's a sparkling water from the Barcelona, Catalunya area called Vichy Catalan, and I love the bottle. So I bought a 6-pack of it when the last time I was in Spain. And they're so pretty and they're beautiful to gift. And I think that coquito is such a nice gift to make for your friends, for your coworkers, even those who are not Puerto Rican. It's like a great introduction to Puerto Rican culture. I feel like I'm in the Christmas spirit now. Like I need to play some Puerto Rican Christmas music, some Jose Nogueras, some Tony Croato. I'm dating myself. Like the stuff that my mom used to play in the house in the 80s. So now we're gonna pour, nice and creamy. It smells so good. Then because you cannot have enough spice, I like to sprinkle a little bit of canela. I've seen people do nutmeg too, you know, whatever floats your boat. And now to the important part. Can we invite Ana here? So my friends, they work for Coquito. This is my friend Ana. So she's gonna be my taste tester for today. Salud.
Salud.
I do have to say that compared to the other ones that I make, like with the canned coconut, it tastes more coconutty.
Yeah, it's a softer
It's like
taste.
it's a softer taste, but I don't feel like it's that much different. No. So you know what? If you're working 12 jobs like I am, and you don't have the time to go and find a coconut, crack it open, peel it, do all that, do you. No judgment. But the best part is making something that is nice, that reminds you of your childhood, of your friends. And even if it doesn't remind you of your childhood, like Ana, she was a grown adult when she went to Puerto Rico, but she loves herself some coquito. So that is the important part of the season. So thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers. Salud.
Cheers.
And if you have any feedback or anything you want to share in the comments, telling me how I can do it right, don't hesitate to do so. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Cheers.